Yo guys, it's Matty Talks here, and today we're talking about mushrooms. So, the first time I did mushrooms, I was living up in Vermont. And I was with my ex, and so I copped a slice of shrooms, 3.5 grams, and the plug ended up giving me like 4 grams. And I ate them all to my dome. And these mushrooms were like just fucking fire. And so I eat them, and about like 15 minutes later, I start feeling them kick in. And my body gets all tingly, and whenever I'm on mushrooms, I get really like uncomfortable. And that's when I knew they were hitting. I was just like trying to get out of my body. I'm so uncomfortable. And all of a sudden they hit. And we went on a drive. And so we turned on this back road, and it's a dirt road. There's a farm right here, and then there's just a view. You could just see miles upon miles. And I'm just like, pull over, I'm gonna puke. So I get out the car and just start yakking everywhere. And as soon as I started yakking, I swear to God, my head felt like a balloon. It was just like, what? And I looked up, and just the landscape was made of clay. I was just like, what the fuck? Just like blown away. So we get going again, talking and stuff, and then we're going across a bridge, and the road's purple. I was like, how is this possible? I was geeking hard. Geeking so hard. So the second time I did mushrooms, I was at a haircut appointment, one of my boys, and he was selling shrooms at the time. And I ended up eating a quarter to my face. And I'm telling you right now, I was so fucked up, it wasn't even funny. Like, couldn't even function messed up. Like, when you eat a quarter, you'll understand. But you don't understand if you've never done mushrooms. Mushrooms bring out a whole new person in you. But I'm getting my hair cut, and I told him what I want, and I'm tripping nuts. And I look in the mirror, and it looks like my hair is all like discombobulated and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what'd you do to my hair, bro? He's just like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, chop it off. So he chopped it off until there was like this much hair. And then I was good. Then it looked good. It didn't look good at all. But I ended up going home that night and just smoked a bunch of weed, went to bed. So the third time I did mushrooms, I was at the skate park up in Vermont, and hit up my plug. I'm like, yo, can I get a slice of shrooms? And he's like, yeah, where you at? I'm like, skate park. So he comes in about 30 minutes later, hands them to me, and I eat a slice right at the skate park. I'm just like, alright, bet, this is gonna be a good day. So I'm sitting there waiting for them to kick in, and all of a sudden they kicked in. And I'm looking at this tree, and it's like vibing with fluorescent like pink and purple and yellow and orange lights. It was weird. And I was standing on this ramp, and it felt like I was on the Empire State Building. Like I could feel the wind like and then I looked down, and it felt like I was like 1,000 feet up. And all the people that were skating looked like little ants and stuff like that. I'm telling you, the mushrooms I used to get were wild. And it was just insane, you know? Good experiences, though. Very good experience. I've never had it. Well, I had one bad trip. I'll tell you about that. So, the bad trip. I was with my fiance now, and I was with my best friend Dom, and he came to Holland to my house, and I had eaten a quarter of mushrooms in my orange juice. And if you don't know, orange juice boosts your trip. Acid, mushrooms, whatever. It boosts your trip like by 10. And I remember putting it in a cup. I mush my mushrooms all up, put them in there, and I drink and chew and drink and chew. So from Holland to Newport, it's about 15 minutes. And it usually takes, 30 minutes for mushrooms to kick in. So I'm driving and we get to Newport and these things start kicking in. I'm like, oh fuck, oh no. I'm driving, by the way, too. Like, so we dropped my buddy off. And I'm going back through town. I'm just like, these things are kicking in. These things are kicking in. I don't know how long I can keep this. I don't know how long I can hold it off. And my girl, she's sitting there. She's like, are you okay? I'm just like, yeah, I'm hoping I can make it back to the house before they really kick in. So we get on the highway. Probably 2 minutes later, these things start kicking my ass. I'm driving, right? All of a sudden, the road lifts up and just starts coming at me. I'm just like, I can't drive. So I pull over. I'm driving a Standard, by the way, because that's what I drive. And my girl, no clue how to drive Standard. No clue. So I pull over, and I get out of the car, and I'm like, whoa. And I'm just stumbling all over the place, right? And, oh, it was bad. It was so bad. So, I'm in the passenger seat, like this, having the worst anxiety attack of my life. And she's trying to drive and she keeps stalling out. I'm just like, just fucking go, I need to get home. She finally gets going off. And they're doing bridge construction at the time. So I lived right by the border, right? So the border's here, you get off the exit, and there's a bridge that goes over the border. Well, I had to get off the exit and go right. So there were stoplights there, right? And like I said, my girl has no clue how to drive Standard. I don't know how she got us home, but I'm very proud of her. And she gets to a stoplight. I'm just like, of course, there has to be a red light, and we're in a Standard, and my girl don't know how to drive clutch. Great. So that rises my anxiety even more. So we stop, and I'm just like, alright, what you need to do is clutch in, put it in first, and when you let off the clutch, put the same amount of gas as you're lifting off the clutch. That's just how I teach Standard, is if you're driving Standard, say this is clutch, this is gas. Equal. And you'll take right off. Well, she didn't want to listen to me. So we just get going and she goes, wah, ba, 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 and finally takes off. I'm just like, oh my God. So we get home, and the people I was staying with at the time, I get home, she's drunk, and I was like, hi. She's like, are you on mushrooms again? And I'm just like, yeah. So we end up going walking in the woods, me and my girl. And I get in the woods, I'm just like, oh, I'm tripping nuts. Oh, I'm tripping nuts. And just start puking. So, when people say that mushrooms help you, mushrooms help me a lot. I was very depressed in Vermont. I didn't know what to do. So I just switched to drugs until I found something that actually helped me. And mushrooms actually helped me out the most. Not weed, not coke, not crack, none of that. Mushrooms helped me. And they're legalizing mushrooms in Denver and San Francisco. I totally agree with that, 100%. It just does something, I'd be going through a rough time and I didn't want to get out of bed, eat a gram of mushrooms, feel nice for a bit. The next day I'm feeling like I've never felt before. It's just an all-natural thing, I mean, no one overdoses on them. People might go crazy on them. That's when you eat too much. or if you just don't have the right mindset for tripping. So if you guys ever do try psychedelics and you don't think you want to, don't do it. Because I promise you, it will kick your ass. I promise you. But I was sitting in my bed and I was just so uncomfortable. Like, pretend this is a wall. Like, I'm like this. Like, that. Trying to get comfortable. Just trying to get comfortable. And I ended up calling my mom and I'm just like, listen, Mom, my life isn't going anywhere and I need to come home. I really need to come home. And she's like, well, there's going to be rules. You're not going to be doing a bunch of drugs over here and stuff like that. And like, that's fine. And the person I was staying with, she was an alcoholic and stuff like that. It just got to me, I guess. Just like, she cared about me a lot. It's just when she was drinking, it felt like she didn't care about me. She only cared about the alcohol. And that was like me in my drug use days. My mom could need help, but as long as I got my fix, I was fine. But if I didn't have my fix, nah, screw off. I'm not helping you. I need to get my fix first. But I just called my mom and just told her straight up, my life's going to shit. I'm a straight up junkie. I don't know what to do anymore. And I need to come home. And she's like, okay. And I ended up going to my Gram's house with my girl, still tripping nuts. And I just told my Gram straight up, I'm moving back to New Hampshire. Well, I looked at my girl first and told her I'm going back home. And she kind of started crying. I'm just like, you can come with me though. I didn't ask my mom. I just kind of brought her home. But I don't know. Mushrooms just helped me. I don't know why. They really did. Better than any medicine ever made me feel. Mushrooms made me. Make sure you check out my sponsor, Melanson Photography. Check him out at www.melansonphoto.com. He does the best with wedding photos and stuff like that. He helps our community so much. I mean, I just saw on Facebook today he put in $5,500 to the community. Like, come on now. Who does that? One person, and that's Greg Melanson. He's an amazing man. I might even have him do my wedding photos. I got engaged, by the way, guys, about 2 weeks ago. So in about 3 years or so, I'm going to be having a wedding. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be wild. That's for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have him do it. Peace out, guys.